Chris, we have a special guest on today.
What do we got?
Her name is Chanel Zapata. Chanel, are you there?
Yes.
Hi. Yes.
Hi, how are you guys?
Hi,
Good,
Chanel.
how are you? Can you hear us okay?
Yes, perfectly fine.
Awesome.
Would you love to crush this piñata? I'm just going to throw it right out there. What I want to do is just throw. What if I threw it to you? Could you just whack it?
Yeah, right?
Maybe. We can try.
Right.
Yeah, I'm going to put it down for a second because it's
In my grill space. All right.
Chanel, I'm Henry Pacheco. I am the social media editor here at Vida Baseball. This is Chris Weber. He's our awesome video producer. He has produced a lot of the videos that we've produced here.
Stop.
A great friend of mine, too.
We're here to hear about her. We'll talk about me later.
So why don't you tell us a little bit about yourself? I know we have a bio here about you, but for our viewers out there, tell them a little bit about yourself and what you do down in Florida.
Sure. So I'm born and raised in Puerto Rico, and I always knew that I wanted a career in sports. I just didn't know where or what or anything. So we didn't have a sport management curriculum or program for college. So that's why I moved to the States and I did my undergrad and then my master's. So now I'm here working on Copa de la Diversión in minor league baseball. So that's a little bit.
Awesome. And it's funny because you would think that in Puerto Rico, with how big baseball is there, you know, just with the international sports that Puerto Rico is, playing in, you would think, maybe you should go down back to the island and start a sports management program down there.
Yeah, I've really thought about it with my friends, but we'll see.
That's so funny. So you're managing Coppa right now. And was this something that you brought? Is this something that you brought to minor league baseball, or?
No, not at all. So Kurt, our vice president, and Belisha, who was his former intern and is now working here, came up with the idea of doing something with Latino engagement. So they build up Copa and what it will entail. I'm just here helping. So yeah.
So what's your day-to-day like as far as like, do you approve like the logos? Do you get to go out to the different stadiums and see like the uniforms, and what's your day-to-day like?
So it's interesting. I just started in February, so I'm still I graduated in December. I started in February.
Oh, wow.
So my day-to-day, basically, I just call or email the 72 teams that are participating right now. I monitor all social media in Spanish. I make sure that the attendance rates are good. I set up calls with prospecting teams that want to participate in Copa next year, talk about potential names, logos, ideas. So it's really fun. It's very creative, but at the same time, it's very analytical, the numbers part. So it's a lot of fun.
And I don't know if you can say this live, but do you have a favorite team logo? You knew this question was coming. Do you have a favorite team logo? Well,
let me be biased, and since I'm from Puerto Rico, I guess Gigantes or Coquis favorite.
I was gonna say the Coquis.
Yes, but which Coquis?
Are they the ones in Florida, right? Are they the ones in?
We have Lehigh Valley and we have Florida.
Okay.
Ooh.
I think I'm only familiar with the ones in Florida. It's the one with the star.
Yes, so that's Florida.
Okay, yes, okay.
Cookie has the flower. The Lehigh Valley, has a flower and it has the cookie on it. Yes.
Do you have a favorite between those two?
No.
The cookie, I mean, they're, it's interesting because when you look at these logos, and, we've done like brackets here, we have like our favorites that we are attached to. I know for me, it's the San Jose Churros because I'm from San Jose, California, also like the Fresno Lowriders. So it's kind of like you find your affiliation or your love for these based off like where you're from or, like something that kind of like reminds you of home, which I think is really
cool. No, that's an excellent point that you make right there. I think it's very important for us Latinos to have that sort of representation in the ballpark, not only for the players, but for me, I cannot see the relationship with, I don't want to say any team in it specifically, but it's great to go to a ballpark and see a coquillo or see a churro, see
Yes.
a elote. It's like, wow, like they're actually thinking about me. So yeah, it's great. That's probably my favorite part of the whole initiative.
That's awesome. And this is the second year. It went from, I know it's like, what, 72 teams this year?
So yes, we did a test program or a pilot program with 4 teams. Then last year we fully like launched with 33. This year we have 72, and then for next year we're looking to 100. We're still working on that.
Wow.
Wow. When do we get that to the major league level? What year is that?
Right?
I don't know. That's a good question, actually.
So Chanel, tell us a little bit about your love. I know you said you love sports, but did you love baseball growing up? Did you have a favorite player? Did you have a favorite team?
So we did not have a favorite, at least I did not have a favorite team. I remember going to the Puerto Rico series where the Expos were in Puerto Rico, and I loved Jose Vidrio for some reason. I also love Javi Lopez with the Braves. So that's how my love started, and then my grandfather used to take me to all the Puerto Rican Winter League games for the Cangrejeros.
Mm-hmm.
So slowly but surely that love grew, and now I'm here. So it's great.
Was it a big baseball family growing up, big in like community? Just break down your childhood to really get, obviously your grandfather played a part, it sounds like.
Yes. So it's funny because I'm the oldest and the only girl in my family. So, and my brothers and cousins do not like sports at all. So then my poor grandfather had just me to go to the games, like, oh, do you want to go to a basketball game? Yes. Do you want to go to a ball? I would always say yes. Even curling, we would watch it in the Olympics in Spanish, and he's explaining all like curling or the Winter Olympics, even though we don't have winter. So it was pretty interesting. I think that baseball, it's really a part of my identity culturally. So that's why I got that emotional bond with it. But I can watch any sport. I don't mind.
Did you watch the World Baseball Classic in 2017?
Of course I did. I watched every game. Fun fact, I've been to every World Baseball Classic except the last one, which I had tickets to, and then I could not make it because I was in finals.
Finals?
Yes.
And then my next question, did you dye your hair blonde?
No. Imagine all this hair blonde. No.
Oh my God.
With Los Rubios, we heard that, I think it was Kike or somebody told us that when the World Baseball Classic was going on and when the Puerto Rican national team dyed their hair blonde, everyone on the island was looking for blonde dye, and stores were running out.
Yeah, stores run out of blonde hair dye. All my friends, even here in college, dye their hair blonde. I remember the days when Puerto Rico played, there was no crimes reported. So
that's what we hear too. Yeah.
Yeah, that's how big of an instrument baseball can be to society. So I think it's very interesting.
We were just in Puerto Rico for in December, going around telling different stories, and we met so many people. Friends and family members of Clemente. Does your grandfather tell you stories of Clemente? And if so, do you have a favorite?
So, okay, my favorite one, basically, so my grandfather's house is right next to what was Clemente's house. And it's like on a hill. And on the hill, it has a 21 and then a bat and a ball. So every time I went outside my grandparents' house, he would say like, okay, like, do you remember this amazing baseball player, but most importantly, amazing human? Look at the 21, and you always remember that. So it's the bonding, it's the connection, 21 forever. So it's very important.
That's very cool.
That is cool.
That's a cool moment.
Is your grandfather still alive today?
Yes.
He is, okay. And what does he think about, I mean, I know a lot of people, there's a lot of talk about like retiring the number 21 across Major League Baseball. I'm sure he's a big advocate for that. And does he ever talk to you about that?
Well, he doesn't talk about it that much. I think that actually, when Clemente sadly passed away, it hit him really hard. It was more of like his model growing up. But he is very opposed to anyone wearing 21. Like, that's a sacred number. You could not wear it. You could not touch it. And it's like an unwritten rule. Yeah.
That's very interesting because you hear from players like players who are not playing anymore that we've interviewed, and they're like, when I was playing, I wanted to wear number 21 because of Roberto Clemente. And then we talk to players now like Francisco Lindor, who wears a number 12, which he said he just switched the 1 and the 2. But then you hear from other players who are like, even Puerto Rican players, are like, 21 is off limits. Like, they won't wear it as respect to Roberto Clemente.
No, it's funny. I actually read a New York Times article talking about that and how even Eddie Rosario thinks that he goes for the 20 because 21 is not doable.
Untouchable.
It is, yeah. So you're in Florida. Do you go to a lot of like Miami Marlins games? Are you St. Petersburg? Is that closer to Miami or is that closer to Tampa?
It's closer to Tampa. So Miami's 3 hours south.
Okay.
Right. So I haven't been to any Marlins games. I want to, but I've been to Rays games, so that's good enough for me.
I've never. I mean, Chris and I went to Florida not last year, but the year before, and we went to Marlins Park, but we didn't get a chance to go to what is it? Rays Stadium,
Tropicana Field.
Tropicana, yeah.
That dome.
Because we hear that at Marlins Park, there's a lot of like people bring their banderas, people bring their instruments. Is that the same at Tropicana as well? I mean, are people pretty lively? Do they bring the music, the instruments out, the flags?
So Tropicana actually has a fun fact where they bring the cowbells, and actually the team pays a fine to MLB about the cowbells, so you're gonna hear them all the time. So it's a good experience for sure. It's different because it's in a dome. You can see the Ray tank. You can touch them. Everything is blue. So it's very different from your normal ballpark experience. But it's very good. You should definitely go to.
That's cool. I didn't know they had Rays in the stadium.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, out in the pool.
Oh, I didn't know that. Well, learn something new every day.
Yeah, we gotta get you in there. We'll politely bump Henry right into the tank.
Right?
Oops.
Do you have any current favorite players? Any like players from Puerto Rico that you watch that you're big fans of? And Alex Cora, maybe even the manager.
Probably Javi Baez.
Javi.
Yes, I had the opportunity to do some volunteering with him and Jose Berrios and Lindor. They actually put on kind of like a showcase for a 9th graders to 12th graders. So agents and scouts could come see them, and they were absolutely fabulous. They treated those guys like they were their brothers. They're very welcoming. So those 3.
That's awesome.
But which one out of those 3?
Oh,
I mean, that's always the tough question, right?
Let's go for Baez.
Javi Baez.
El Mago. We just interviewed him 2 weeks ago.
2 weeks ago, yeah. Couldn't have been nicer.
Really
Awesome guy.
I bet you didn't know this, but when he came out to talk to us, can you guess what kind of shoes he was wearing? I don't think you'd guess, but
like Jordans or something like that.
Very close. Now think if you were a baby or a kid.
Like slippers.
Yes.
Jordan
Very
slippers.
close.
Oh yeah.
Yellow Crocs.
He was wearing yellow Crocs.
Crocs. Oh my God.
With little SpongeBob SquarePants like pins on them.
Yes, he was.
Is that what they're called? Pins?
Yes. I'm gonna see if I can find a photo because we took some photos of his shoes just because we were like, Javi wears Crocs. Like this is awesome.
Yeah, this is happening.
Yeah, like it's gonna be trending soon.
Right? I think like instead of the the blonde hair dye, watch the next World Baseball Classic, everyone's gonna be rocking yellow Crocs. I found the photo right here. I'm gonna come up and show you.
Okay, show me. Oh my god. That's too much.
That's his. And you can see his tattoo, his legs.
Yeah.
So it's really him. It's not just Henry's legs faking this story.
Are you sure that's not you?
Yeah.
There's another one of him right there.
Wow, yellow Crocs.
Yellow Crocs.
Yellow Crocs. We didn't expect it.
He's bringing the Crocs back.
He is. Somebody has to.
They were super comfortable, so.
Yeah. It says here your favorite team, minor league team, is the Burlington Royals.
Yes, it is.
How come?
So I spent a summer working for them, or interning. So I got the ins and outs of game day operations, ticket sales, merch, rookie ball team. It was my first, basically, experience in a baseball team. So I hold them very close to my heart.
That's awesome. And you also worked with the Arizona Diamondbacks?
Yes, for a little bit, yes.
What years did you work with them?
Last year.
Do you know Jerry Romo?
Yes.
Jerry Romo's a friend of ours.
Oh, really?
Big supporter of La Vida. We went down to the Hispanic Heritage Night in 2017, and Jerry, and the Diamondbacks rolled out the red carpet for us. We got a chance to interview David Peralta, and we were down on the field, and they have the teams from the Mexican, Pacific League out, and it was awesome to be at Chase Stadium.
Yeah, Jerry does a really great job with that whole marketing department. So he's one of the front runners for it.
Yes, he definitely is.
So with you fresh out of school,
yes,
but you always wanted to be in sports or baseball.
Mm-hmm.
So you've checked that off the box. Where do you see yourself in 10 years? What's your ultimate goal?
That's a good question.
Huh?
That's a good question, and everybody keeps asking me, what's your long-term plan? Let me see. I think what I want to do is go into player programs and work for ESL and Spanish as a second language. So all those international signees, whether they come from the Dominican or South Korea, even from the posting system that go through the minor league system, I want to get them not a culture, not assimilated, but for them to have a better transition into coming to the United States. I want to do that sort of role where I can use both of my languages too.
That's awesome.
And how do the minor leagues deal with that, their transition? Because we always interview these guys about they've now made it to the major leagues, and we're like, what was your, first time coming to the United States like? And they all talk about obviously the English being the problem and the culture and not knowing how to order food and pointing at numbers at McDonald's because. But what is minor league baseball doing to kind of ease their transitions, things that you want to get into?
So as far as I know, that all is for the major leagues. So every team basically has an educational cultural coordinator. So they are in charge of setting up those classes and also getting them. So when I was in Burlington, we actually had a dating panel where students from the closest university, who was Elon, would talk about how to say hello. Because with Latinos, we want to give you a kiss and a hug and touch you. Whereas here it's hello, nice to meet you. So things like that could be taught so people understand. So it depends on the team, but teams are getting really smart and really creative on how to tell those stories and get the players to understand.
I love that.
That's really cool.
We look forward to seeing where your journey's going to take you.
Yep. So let me ask you this. Are you able to, because we've had probably about 17 teams from the Copa on our show so far.
You hear that? About 17.
Yeah,
you couldn't say 15, you couldn't say 20.
I think it's 17. I didn't want to get that number incorrect because we've had some great teams on, and they're telling us about the food. They tell us they're doing taco trucks, or they do tamales, elotes, they're piraguas. You know, they're
See?
talking. You know, and then they're like, yeah, we're gonna have music. Are you able to go out to the fields and just being part of the experience at all?
So I'm supposed to start traveling in the summer.
Okay.
We haven't talked about where I will be going. That's to be determined. But I'm very excited to go because it's one thing to work on it from the computer here in St. Pete. It's another thing to see what our guys do for our fans. So I'm very excited to help, to see what we can improve here. So
Got it.
we'll see.
Yeah, I mean, every time, like I said, every time somebody comes on, they're telling us, and we're just like dying to get out there to go be a part of it. Because you can only hear about it so much, but until you're like there, and until you're like part of that game day experience, and you're seeing the fans interact with the players, and you're seeing like the merchandise with the piñatas or the elotes or piraguas, like that's when it's like, wow, this is really happening, and this is when they're really embracing the Latino culture.
Yeah.
And it sounds like every night's a party.
Right?
That's why I want to go. Right?
Right?
Exactly.
I mean,
So
who can complain about it?
We need to go where are the lowriders?
Fresno.
Fresno? Yeah,
Fresno.
we need to
Yeah.
go there.
Yes, we do. And
Yeah, and they're going to have a car show too, so
I
you
know.
should definitely go.
Yeah, we should all meet up.
Yeah,
I think that should be
Yeah.
on our. We should all put a schedule together.
we should meet up in
Let's
Fresno.
do
Because last year they were the tacos, right? Because of
So last year they did not participate.
They
The tacos
didn't.
is actually another promotion that they run for Taco Tuesday. But now they're coming with Fresno, with the lowriders.
with the lowriders. Got
Yeah.
it. Yeah, they were one of my favorite. I mean, like I said, I'm originally from San Jose, so the churros were my favorite. But my family also lives about 2 hours north of Fresno, and so I was like, oh, they're California based. Lowriders are my, I love lowriders. Love growing up. So I was like, between the churros and the lowriders, those are my two favorites.
Yeah, and that's a tough choice.
Right?
I mean, it's food, but it's cars, so
Yeah, I know. And it's interesting, too, because I think that, and the thing that really sticks out to us here at Vida Baseball is that every time we have somebody from these teams on, they're always like, we hired like a Latino outreach coordinator to go out to the community to see, what the fans wanted, like, what music that appeals to them, what names that would appeal to them, what logos would appeal to them. So you guys are definitely doing your research and being very culturally sensitive, and I think the fans definitely notice that, and I know we appreciate that.
well, thank you. That's awesome to hear. That's what we strive for. We really want to be inclusive with everybody. So it's important for us to do a really good research so nobody feels excluded. So it's good that you guys are seeing that and that fans are actually saying like, hey, good, like finally a name, a logo, music that I understand that represents me. So thank you.
And the more you guys do it, because you have 72 teams, like the more like you just start trying new things and kind of pushing the boundaries and just.
That's a good question. I think we're going to focus more on going in depth with the community to help the youth and baseball and softball. So I think we're going to concentrate our efforts more in going deep in the community.
And what's the feedback been from all these cities so far?
They love it. They're really thankful because all our tools that we give them, they just want more. So
That's
it's
awesome.
exciting.
That really is awesome.
And what is it? Is it 8 games, or is it different for each team?
It depends with each team. Some of them have 3, some of them have an 11 series game that they spread out through their schedule. It all depends for the team.
That's
Very
really
nice.
wow.
I love it. Well, thank you so much for your time. Last question for you. How proud is your grandfather of you to be working in sports?
He's super proud, like tears proud.
Aw.
So that's all I could ask for.
That's very, very sweet. I have one more question for you. If you could pick your walk-up song, what walk-up song would you pick and why?
Ooh. That's a really tough question, you guys. Let me see. That Por Siempre album from Bad Bunny is what's been playing around. So probably Caro.
Caro? Okay, I was just
Yes.
listening to that last night.
Clean version. But probably
like that.
Bad Bunny and clean version, yes.
That's hilarious because we're doing walk-up songs. We were talking about them yesterday, and Javi Baez is Chambea. That's his that's his walk-up song by Bad Bunny. So, and then it's interesting too because I was in St. Louis last season, and Yachty walked up to Bad Bunny as well. So like these Puerto Rican players, these Puerto Rican players are repping their hometown boy, with Bad Bunny. He's one of our favorites here. I went to his concert in March when he was here in Chicago, and it was one of the best concerts I've ever been to. I came back the next day like Bad Bunny'd out,
Tears in his eyes. I think he cried during the show, right? It was an emotional night for you.
Bad Bunny that
Exactly.
day.
Right here. Look at see right there.
Aw. That is great.
Yeah. So Chanel, we'd love to have you back. I mean, you said you're going to be traveling this summer, so when you go out there, even if you're at one of the stadiums or you're at one of the games and you're just like, this would be awesome for La Vida to see. Let us know. We'd love for you to be like, maybe even like document your journey and be like, here I am at this stadium. Here I'm with the piñatas or I'm with the elotes today. Here's some. This is how they're embracing their community, and we'd love to get updates from you all season long on
For
Copa
sure.
and how it's going. So.
For sure. Thank you guys for having me. This was a great
Absolutely.
experience.
No, we thank you. And on Fridays, we're going to do like a best of the week, like social media posts, like best kicks of the best post. I'm putting you in for best glasses of the
best
week.
glasses right
Maybe
there.
I might even just say best glasses of all time.
Yo,
I might
for
not even
reals.
say the
Wow, okay.
Those
So
are
cool.
awesome.
I know.
Those are so awesome.
week. Yeah,
Guys.
very nice.
All right,
All right.
Chanel.
Thank you. Good luck with everything.
Thank you.